this phase in which we're currently in, and let me remind you which phase we are in. We have announced on 24th of June that we believe that we can generally come to agree on core topics of a potential transaction. In this context, we have opened up our books for a confirmatory due diligence. And in this context, we also officially started to negotiate. And that negotiation would also include that we conclude, for example, an investment agreement. And in this context, in this phase, I can also tell you that this is ongoing in a constructive manner. And I think that's all I have to say today. But, however, to give you some flavor, I mean, we're talking here potentially about the largest transaction of its kind that has ever or that would ever happen. And in that context, I can understand that shareholders, employees, but also other interest groups say, well, when is the right point in time? When do we finally hear something? I can fully relate to that. Yet at the same time, please also see and look at the circumstances that we are in, talking about the potentially largest transaction in that context.
I appreciate that. And I'm not going to ask you any more about that because I think you've categorically stated, and I really appreciate that, Markus, because I've been plugging away at you about this for a year now as well. Your shares trade at 54 euros. The latest bid, as I understand it, is 62 euros per share. Why do you think there's such a big discount on your shares compared to the bid price as well? It would say to me that, historically, that would say to me there's a lot of doubt about whether this can happen.
Well, let me put it this way. We do not comment on market rumors also, and specifically with regard to share prices that are out there in the press. From that perspective, currently the price is what the market thinks is the right price at the current moment, factoring all information in that the market has. And from that perspective, 54 euros is 54 euros. And please understand that I not feel inclined to really comment on this any further because I'm not in the position, for example, to spread any rumors or to comment, let's say, on this or that information, because that is exactly, from my perspective, what is the spirit of the ongoing negotiations between ADNOC and Covestro, that we keep it amongst us, though I can fully understand that there is quite a number of interest groups out there which would love to have at this point in time a bit more information. We will communicate if legally required. And for now, I can just reiterate that in this phase, this is ongoing in a constructive manner.
Yeah, one can certainly appreciate that, Markus. Thank you so much for that. I wanted to just ask about how you're assessing some of the risks then, like Russia's war in Ukraine and tensions in the Middle East as being perhaps downward pressures a little bit more on parts of your business. Has that impact stabilized now somewhat?
Good morning, Arabile. So first and foremost, very nice to meet you this way, and hello. What I can say is that for sure geopolitics and all the repercussions it has on the economy also weighing down on our customer industries. What we can see, we have inflation out there, and that is ongoing since about 2.5 years. We have high interest rates or higher interest rates than in the past, which is also weighing on consumer sentiment. At the same time, high uncertainty, and you mentioned one of the main reasons, that is geopolitical tensions or open wars that we see actually across the world. And at the same time, people are concerned about their future. People are really concerned about what would it mean to their personal income, and that weighs on the automotive industry, on the construction industry, be it, let's say, residential homes or commercial buildings. It's weighing on the electronics sector. I'm not talking about the big tech companies, but for example, devices that people are buying. So all these industries where our material are present, as I always say, you're never more than 10 meters away from Covestro products. So putting all of this together, yes, it has an influence. And that's why we also, for the remainder of the year, currently see here and there some silver lining, but we do not see a significant rebound of the economy currently to be foreseeable. However, if a rebound is there, and you can tell from our volume story in the second quarter and in the first quarter, Covestro is very well positioned to immediately use or make use of this potential upswing in the economy.
Yeah, I mean, Markus, just a few months ago, you had also just been saying that, it was way too soon that you're through the worst. And I wonder whether you think that that's the case now, that maybe you are through some of the worst and things have bottomed out, because it's about trying to get that volume growth, which has spurred your numbers since Q1, to try and keep that going. But how are you able to push up margins, if you can, then, for the second half of the year?
Yeah, if you look at the two different businesses, Arbile, it's actually that we have mass chemicals business, and here we are in the market a price taker. So at a given supply demand balance, we just take the price that is there, and then because we have the ability from cost leading plants pushing out volumes and by that also increasing our profitability. So it wouldn't make any sense from our perspective to, let's say, kindly hold back. We have the leading assets, we pushing out our material, and that is how you run a commodity business. Low cost, very aggressive, and that's what it is. At the same time, we have a solution and specialty business, and that's why we're very well prepared. We're collaborating with our customers. We're going for the next level of new materials with our innovation centers across the world. So all in, no matter what segment we are talking about, we are very well prepared. Today, I have to say, even though I committed to be, let's say, member of the second half club in 24, meaning that in second half we would have expected an uptick in the economy. Currently, we do not see sufficient indicators that would indicate that we would see an uplift in the second half.